Well, everybody, thanks for joining me right in the moment when I start talking. Some pressurized vehicle or devices starting in the background. Also, tough lighting condition, but I know that you're all not watching this to see my beautiful face, but hopefully listen to some of the ideas and the things I distilled out of this year's Dreamforce conference, which was, no surprise, record attendance, over 160, even 170,000 people there. Always good to compare with the numbers that Oracle shared, same location, same venue, Howard Street blocked off. Oracle only said half as much. I really didn't see double as much people there, but doesn't matter really at the end of the day. Big event, and as usual, like Dreamforce, I'm saying a lot of hype. It always looks to me that when Benioff and team think, well, every event needs to have a certain amount of hype, there's no question about it. But when it comes to them thinking, hey, do we have to hype it up a little more? They ratchet up another level more. And the good news for them is it seems to work for the audience. Very passionate, very loyal audience, kind of like the expectation. Maybe they're in this Helsinki syndrome to have to update the hype every year a little bit more. Who knows? But for me as an analyst, too much hype, not enough information, what's really working. So what are the top overall takeaways, right? And I said in the header already, it's not so much about Einstein in my view. Keep in mind, it is Einstein. That's how the man called himself, not Einstein. So at least pronounce it correctly. If you put so much money in there, it's just my 5 cents, and I can say Einstein with authority, being a German native speaker, as you can hear anyway. So, of course, Salesforce had to do something with AI. Einstein is the name. Lots of hype around this. Not sure if you need an avatar, not sure if you need a comic figure. And what Salesforce basically has done is global together what was there, which is close enough to some predictive analytics. That's how we used to call things in this area from the past, like scoring, a very conservative, a very well working on the flip side algorithm. I remember doing lead scoring in CRM. I had no gray hair over 25 years ago. So it definitely works to apply this to campaigns or to leads from attractive level, but has really nothing to do with what is possible from an AI machine learning part. The chief scientist, actually, the chief data scientist, was pretty honest about this. It's not about AI, it's about making things work. He talked more about speech and other things in a separate session. That's all good to see, but lots of questions are open on Einstein. Great to hear that's democratized, it's available for everybody, and that's all running on the Salesforce information. But where is this information, right? Salesforce lives with Sales and Service Cloud on the Force.com platform, with the Marketing Cloud on Heroku/Amazon, whatever that is. How do you bring this all together? How do you make sense? How can intelligence like Einstein work, and also the American way too, Einstein work on this to make better decisions? All these questions are open. And what is the question on privacy there? Which customer data can you put in? What's the question on security? Where does this run? If I'm a global corporation, where can all this be? Lots of things to answer. It's early days, fair enough from that perspective. The messages, let's use what is available, and our data scientists from all the acquisitions we've done will figure out what data comes. That's really the Einstein part. The real takeaway, the big news, which unfortunately was overshadowed by all the AI frenzy and Einstein and so on, is Commerce Cloud, right? With the acquisition of Demandware, Salesforce really is becoming a player in the e-commerce space, and that's really, really important, because Salesforce should not get trapped in what I jokingly call the Tableau trap, which is super loyal users, which like what they do, are on a mission to change how information is processed in the enterprise for Tableau, are on a mission to things done change differently in CRM, but it's always the people. And the big trend that we see is that it's not only about the people anymore, but it's much and much more that the intelligence permeates one of my main research area. The LCD means it happens by the software, happens by machines, happens by intelligence behind that. And if it's a human-to-human or human-to-machine interaction, well, that's when e-commerce comes into play. So really good to see for Salesforce to make a major push and perspective there. Another part I liked very much is the Quip acquisition. From productivity perspective, we always have this problem that Post-it notes are there, nothing really works together. The classic enterprise software OTP is separate from the OLAP, is separate from the email, is separate where work is really being done. And Quip brings together information, kind of like a document interface where users can collaborate, work with things, can pull in information from Salesforce. Early days, the acquisition was only recent, work on real Salesforce data information in a more integrative way to get the information together. Interesting approach. We'll have to see how that works. And then, of course, which I'll talk about after this, these are my overall takeaways, Salesforce really starting to unshackle itself from its old SaaS, Oracle, large machine-based Force.com architecture. But that is, if you want to stay, not another video, but right after it. So on the overall messages, key moves by Salesforce into commerce, that should have really been the big news. Early days in artificial intelligence, if it's even artificial intelligence, a good push overall on the CRM side. Many things still in progress. Remember, it's always 2-year cycles. Benioff announces something, takes development 2 years to do. Some of the things 2 years ago, the big news was Lightning, the new user experience. It hasn't been fully rolled out to Sales Cloud, right? So it's not easy to do this, no question about this, but Salesforce has to put the foot on the gas pedal to get these innovations out, because otherwise they stale while they're no longer innovative. Well, thanks for watching so far. Now stay with me if you're interested in platform, next generation applications. What's happened on the developer side? Moscone West again was bubbling. I joked it was downgraded to the ground floor, which is good news, which was always a customer showcase, much larger than before, because the ground floor is bigger than the first floor. In different zones, check my tweets, the CIO cottage, the developer meadows, the kids corner, kids coding was a big thing, like philanthropy and charity is always very important at Salesforce. But really important things are happening behind the scenes on the development side. Salesforce introduced for the first time a new object type on the Force.com side, which is really important also for artificial intelligence events, because all the IoT events, which Thunder brings in, you have to have a feeling about this, but it's business events, which is even more important, because you can only do machine learning, artificial intelligence, or predictive analytics, not when you just have an opportunity that is won, but you need to know what are good outcomes, what are good results in that, what is good, what is bad. So this event structure is a major step forward from a cleanliness perspective. But at the same side on Force.com, not on the Heroku side, not on the other side, which is to a certain point understandable, because all these acquisitions have different ways of understanding how events work and what's a good one, what's a bad one. But bringing that together and making it programmable will be, I think, a thing Salesforce should think about. Second one, very interesting, right? We all know, read on my blog, how Salesforce has chosen AWS as their cloud infrastructure to roll things out. The question was, of course, yes, many things like Marketing Cloud, many of the acquisitions already run there, easy peasy to do. Not so easy for the Force.com older architecture we talked about, but Salesforce has found a way to make Force.com run on AWS. Not only just for them overall, rollouts of that will happen later. They will wait on this. They confirmed this, that we will have all of Salesforce on AWS infrastructure, but also for developer who can now move a development environment and test environment off the cloud.com infrastructure, which always has been from its DNA. Want to confirm it so much because it doesn't sound maybe so sexy or interesting. It was always an extension to a running, in that case, CRM system or even sales system, where everything you would do would happen in production. If you would do too much, or that you could and test too much of that, you were in the same machine, the same instance, and you could even take down production if you were too user on the development side. So very important for Salesforce to be able to decouple that, crucial for the whole continuous integration, continuous development, hype which we're living through from a developer perspective right now, very important development there. And then equally to support, I mean, you want to move into AI, you better support developers to build AI applications. Always the buzz these days, oh, we don't need the data scientists anymore, the developers can do this themselves, they have access to the algorithms. In Salesforce's case, that is Prediction.io, which has come to Heroku, so developers can build machine learning apps leveraging the Prediction.io algorithms, which came from Prediction.io. And then another key piece, also announced last year, basically, not fully officially said, with the Salesforce IoT Cloud, which takes events from really large IoT implementations into where the humans met, and the humans have to make decisions or talk to customers or find service levels and so on. And a large part of this, I jokingly last year called the hodgepodge architecture, because it took everything which was good under the sun. Storm is in there, Spark is in there, Kafka is in there. But here, coming to the takeaway, Kafka now runs on Heroku. An important step for Salesforce developers to bring information from outside of Salesforce into Salesforce, managing it with Kafka, which is probably the best tool for condensing large amounts of data into something tinier. The big question, of course, is that the right way? Shouldn't be Salesforce data be moved outside of that, because the platform itself isn't lending itself itself to that and shouldn't be enriched to something. We saw that as an example as turning around for data gravity at SAP's BW event, where SAP is bringing the BW information onto also AWS. AWS obviously very prominent, creating some SaaS load here, mentioning SAP and now Salesforce. To see Salesforce talking about AI. The first pieces are very, very basic from a scoring and recommendations perspective, but it's really good to see some of the older things moving forward. Salesforce getting rid of the old big iron Oracle-centric architecture potentially. It may also run Oracle on AWS. No details on that because it's a supported platform there. So who knows how the sales and service cloud offerings will be running at AWS, but the key step. And key steps around something which Salesforce calls DX, not UX for user usability, but DX for developer usability. Significant improvements there, making it easier for developers to work, right? Because I mentioned before, it was a customization extension path. You want to have all the context, all the organization, org as it's called in Salesforce developer lingo or setup system admin lingo, all of it to be there. You don't want this when you build new applications. So creating a scratch org, which can be moved, developer environment, working with different pieces is a significant step forward. For developers, lots of the right moves. For the platform, lots of the right moves. Overall, a long road to AI. Salesforce always lots of questions to clarify. Where is the platform? Where is it running? What are the algorithms? What are the first applications that will be newly built, not the existing capabilities, which fair enough for Salesforce to label together, bring together under the Einstein umbrella. All right, this was, as usual, unfortunately, way too long. Unfortunate lighting conditioning. You can hear the it's, I think, a leaf blower in the background. Hopefully the audio was good. I'm getting 3-4 green dots from Google Cannout, so it should be good enough. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. See you soon. Blog post coming.